entire recap is the summary.
Take a number.
To start us off, just a disclaimer, we read this book 3 months ago. Then our computer broke down, and the microphone wasn't working, and a lot of stuff happened, and now we're going off of my very old notes and the highs we used to be on when we first read the book. Anyways, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to discuss
In Depth, The Infinite Noise by Lauren Shippen. The book starts off from before the podcast. We get to see Caleb and how he got into therapy. So Caleb is a teenage boy. He's in high school. He's feeling all of these new emotions, and not just regular teenage boy emotions. He is feeling other people's emotions, and
he doesn't know that he is an empath yet.
Yeah, so he is super confused. He doesn't know why he's feeling all of these things. He thinks it's just him.
So he's in the middle of feeling all of these emotions when it's time for them to take a test. And he basically zones out and then fails this test. And it's while he's looking at his results that another character named Moses starts getting picked on by another character named Bryce. Don't get attached. They don't matter. And what ends up happening is that Caleb tries to stand up for Moses. Then the bully Bryce turns on Caleb. And then there's emotion. And Bryce is making fun of Caleb. Pretty sure it's Bryce. There isn't a second bully, but neither of them are distinctive. So anyways, hope it's Bryce. And Bryce starts picking on Caleb and is like, oh, you got a 57.
Bryce is going kind of crazy.
Yeah, Bryce himself is feeling super aggressive, so then Caleb is feeling super aggressive, but Caleb is also feeling anxious.
Reactive. He's reacting to that aggression and feeling his own aggression, and it's just snowballing.
Yeah, empath powers, y'all. So basically what happens is that we then cut to Adam's point of view,
who is our love interest for Caleb, who is 100% normal.
He literally has no friends.
And he sees Moses in the library,
who himself is trying to hide, and Adam is just like, why are you trying to hide? And Moses is just like, so I think I'm in trouble, but I'm not in trouble because it wasn't really my fault, but it started because of me, and it's all because Caleb's got in a fight, and Adam is like, Caleb got in a fight? And it's like, yeah, Caleb got in a fight.
And all this time, Adam has a crush on Caleb. Adam has always had a crush on Caleb, and he's always thinking about Caleb.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's like a full-blown crush, because Adam is like, he's
a straight boy, I can't have a crush on him.
But I think Adam is also like, am I aware of every minute detail about Caleb? Yes. Move on. This is normal. And today's
cut back to Caleb, and he is having his first therapy session with Dr. Bright. Dr. Bright is the titular role in the Bright sessions. He is a therapist for atypicals, and she is the one who informs Caleb that he is an empath, and she explains to him that he is an atypical, and that he has powers, and that he has to be careful because there are bad people out there that could cause him harm, and also he could cause himself harm because he could accidentally hurt himself with his powers by getting into fights.
So all of this is valid, and I just want to take a second really quick to just say that reading this really just hit me in the feels, because it felt like I was literally re-listening to season 1 of the
for the
Bright
very
sessions,
first time,
where it's that level of excitement of you're rediscovering these characters, and every time Caleb said something, I heard it in the voice actor Brigham Snow's voice, where I was like, this is Caleb, and that's his voice, and that is Caleb.
To be fair, I listened to the audiobook version of this because I wanted the voice actor from the podcast.
I read it, and I still heard the voice actor's voice, because he's just that bitch.
Yeah. Side note, in the podcast, the character Adam is a person of color, but he is not played by a person of color. And in the audiobook version, they have a person of color voice Adam. So for people who come from the podcast and listen to the audiobook, you're not going to have the exact same experience, but it is still a good audiobook, and I still love it so much. To be fair, though, I don't think the actor who played Adam listened to the Bright Sessions podcast, and he doesn't have his cadences, which threw me for a little bit.
Yeah, no, I remember I started to listen to the audiobook, and then I was like, I gotta peace out. You're making me upset. I don't hear, this ain't the right voice. Because the way he reads for the character is totally different, because I read the book first, and then I tried to read the audiobook, or tried to listen to the audiobook, and I was like, our take on this character and how he was saying this, completely different. Get out of here, gay boy. I mean, it's still good, but it wasn't the voice it wasn't the right cadence to me.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the direction I was used to, and personally I never thought of Adam sounding that way.
Yeah, the voice actors do sound completely different. So Caleb has a moment where he talks to his sister, and
He explains the whole empathy thing.
yes, she's 12. I would have assumed, like, you know how in all of these sci-fi things, it's just like you need to keep the secret of your powers to yourself. No one can know.
Well,
I would have assumed that the secret, that, you know, the life-changing and dangerous secret shouldn't be told to your 12-year-old daughter.
Listen, Alice shows more critical thinking than anyone else in this series. So, shut it down.
Next we cut to Adam, and he is in the library again. It's just before winter break. And he and Caleb run into each other. And they have a cute little scene together, but Adam makes a joke about jocks. Caleb is on the football team, and he kind of thinks, oh, does that mean me? I'm a jock. And Adam realizes, and it's an awkward moment, and the moment is, the bubble is burst. The moment is over. And they kind of leave on a weird note. We cut to Adam, and he goes home, and it's dark, and he's alone, and he makes himself cocoa, and we get some backstory on his parents. And Adam is an only child, and he's raised by very busy scientist parents. He's
not interested in the sciences, he's interested in the arts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big difference. And Adam is smart, but his parents are like, it's not science, so... Adam,
No, it's not like that.
well, it's like a little bit.
They wanted him to be in the sciences, and the way that Adam rebels is he wants to be an English major. So this is where you really start to appreciate the books, because you finally are getting an inside view into Adam, and it is so good. And it references his emotional state of being and his state of mind, and
his history,
and it implies that he used to self-harm. And it's not mentioned physically in the books. Like, it's never described what he did. And it never happens in book. I wouldn't put a trigger warning. It's not a trigger warning thing. Like, it's just mentioned. I think it's handled really well. And
I agree.
And it just gives Adam so much more depth, and I really appreciated that. Now we are back to Caleb, and it is the start of the spring semester, and it is mentioning how he doesn't want to go back to school because he just leveled out with his emotions, and he's going to get back to school, and it's going to be another emotional hurricane again.
And then it is, because when he gets to school, he's like, stress, stress, anger, horny, stress, stress, green. What is that?
Lauren Shippen does a great job of explaining how the emotions are like colors to Caleb, and then it goes to Adam, and the metronome slows down and evens out, and Caleb realizes that, oh, these are Adam's feelings.
And everything is manageable with them.
And so Caleb starts to focus in and tune into that frequency.
During class, Adam is just kind of like, what is happening?
Yes, because all of a sudden, Caleb starts to get so intense.
Well, he's just like looking at Adam all the time. And
Adam is just like, am I being pranked? Am I being punked?
But then what happens, it derails this little happy bubble of finally metering out, because Adam overhears this girl, Caitlin, talking to her friend about how she wants to ask out Caleb to the Sadie Hawkins dance. And just a reminder, Adam is gay, and he's into Caleb. So naturally...
What does he do? Has an emotional breakdown.
But not really. But like just a little bit, enough to make it where
Caleb is very confused as to why Adam is feeling off now. So Caleb is on Adam's emotional roller coaster of feelings, which basically boil down to
gay angst.
We cut to Caleb, and he's being picked up by his mom after football practice, and his emotions are feeling really good because she's really happy. And then she mentions how he's happy, and he's like, yeah, I am feeling happy. And then she starts to feel bittersweet about it because he's leveling his emotions, he's learning these things, and she's feeling all these things. And it's not like she can stop, because it's just the way your thoughts go, but you can't stop your feelings. And so Caleb is bittersweet about it as too, because her moment brings down his moment.
And then when they get home, she announces that
Caleb's home, because they need to be able to keep their feelings in check and let them know that he's here and he can if they're feeling strong emotions, it would hurt him. And Caleb is pissed off there's a
he's little
upset.
thing.
He's upset.
He's
They have a
thing.
little spat because he's like, I hate how you have to do that for me. And
he just like storms off to his room, I think.
yeah, but before that, she understandably is just like, we want to take your feelings into consideration because that's literally all you feel. You feel everyone's feelings. We need to take that into account. And he just doesn't like that, obviously, because he feels like his presence imposes on everyone else. Yeah. And because it does, and it affects how his family lives their lives now. And he's feeling all of that pressure.
So while Caleb is having his own emotional breakdown, Adam is also having his own emotional breakdown. And I just want to point out how brilliantly Lauren Shippen writes this next scene, because what we see happen is Adam slipping back into a depression and disassociating during dinner with his parents. And the way it is written is literally so beautiful. Not in it's pretty, but it's just beautiful the way she does it.
It is so accurate and apt.
Yeah. And what happens is that while he's having dinner with his parents, Adam just straight up disassociates and goes back to himself when he's doing the dishes, and he hears his parents arguing because someone is trying to debunk the work that they're doing, which is a thing. It's a tie to the podcast, but obviously Adam doesn't know that because him and Caleb don't find out for a very long time. So we're not going to tell you what it is. And Adam comes back to himself and just has to go back to being normal, but it's just this beautiful moment of what his mind looks like. I love it.
Now we're back to Caleb, and it is during school. They're in class, and Caleb has to give a presentation.
So it's anxiety.
So all of the anxiety that all of the students in the class are feeling, topped with his own anxiety, just turned into this tornado of feelings inside of Caleb. And he starts to lose it mid-presentation.
And, like, Adam can see this and literally is mentally like, dude, calm down.
You've got this. He's just like, please calm down.
And you know what, guys? It works because of the gay connection these two characters have.
It's like Pacific Rim, y'all.
Yes, literally. Vibe check. No. So Caleb calms down enough to to finish his presentation. And then it's Adam's turn, and he actually does nail his presentation, and he is like on this high.
He is on top of it. He gives a bomb-ass presentation.
And of course that high has to be ruined by one of the bullies. Don't remember which one. Just messing with Adam. So then it continues on outside of the classroom, and Caleb tries to step between the two of them. What happens is Caleb is feeling all the emotions, and he just says
that Adam is feeling, and he's tired of him feeling that way.
So he literally says to the bully, he's like,
just stop.
Can't you see he's already sad enough? And it cuts off the argument, but it does leave a very confused Adam, who is like, what the fuck? And Adam just storms off, and literally he goes into a bathroom. He just has an emotional breakdown in this bathroom, and he literally thinks to himself, I have to suppress all of these emotions and hide my sadness, because if Caleb can notice how sad I am, my parents will notice how sad I am, and they will be worried, and that is not okay, and I have to stop that.
So now it is back to Caleb, and it is after a football game, and all of the team's emotions are high. And
they won the game.
Yeah, so they won the game. It's a good way. But Caleb is brought down a little bit because Bryce is being an asshole again, and he's talking shit about a girl and the dance and how hot she is. And Caleb is just like, that's gross.
That's gross.
It's just like, literally get your icky feelings away from me.
But then the conversation somehow changes.
And he feels better. And then he goes home, and
everyone is gone.
Everyone's gone. It's just his feelings. And he can ruminate for once on his own feelings and how he feels. Yeah. And honestly, and he starts thinking about Adam, and he feels really bad how he made Adam feel bad when all he wanted to do was to make him less sad.
Yeah.
Adam is back with his mom, and she's worried about him because he obviously is feeling down, and he's really trying to hide it.
And he's got a history, so.
Yeah. And so he brushes her off and hurts her feelings because he's trying to hide the fact how hurt he is, and it's just a vicious cycle. And so to make her feel better, he's like, I made a friend! And describes Caleb, and internally he's just like, shit. I have not made a friend. We do not know each other.
That actually makes Adam feel even worse because he's like, I have no friends and I'm making a friendship out of nothing.
Yeah, and I'm just lying to my mom about how I have made one friend just to make her happy.
Yeah, at which point I think what happens next is that Caleb has a therapy session with Dr. Bright, and Dr. Bright is like, you should try being friends with Adam, Caleb. And
Yeah, because Caleb tries to downplay how serious Adam is to his emotional well-being.
And Dr. Bright, she's a smart cookie. So she's like, that sounds fake, and I'm not gonna say okay. Go be his friend.
So he goes up to Adam in class,
yeah.
and he's about to say something to Adam, and that he is standing right in front of Adam's desk. And then at this point in time, Caitlin seems to think it's a good idea to ask Caleb out to the Sadie Hawkins dance.
the way you phrased that. Like, Caitlin has no idea.
No, but he's literally standing in front of somebody else's desk, and she's just like, I'm just gonna...
shoot your shot sometime. Listen, Caitlin asks out Caleb, which is a valid choice, but it makes Adam feel like shit, and
Caleb is then super confused why Adam feels like shit.
Yeah. So, but then Caleb is caught up in his emotions, and he just says yes automatically without, like, thinking about what he really wants. He's like, you really want me to say yes, so I'll say yes, and there's a lot going on here, and there is no actual conversation with Adam, but I think he invites him to lunch. That's what happens, I think.
So, mixed up in all those emotions, Caleb just zones out for the rest of the class because Adam is having an internal breakdown.
Yeah, he's like, my crush just got asked out by someone else, so that's nice.
That's not a good feeling.
And of course, Caitlin and Adam are also debate partners, and they have to go plan for their debate. So they're partnered up in the library, doing their homework together. Caitlin is being chatty, and Adam is like, what is happening? What is this thing you are doing? What are you attempting? And Caitlin is like, I want to be friends. Like,
she's
that's
just
allowed.
I want to create a genuine and human connection with you, like a normal human being.
Which is a very new concept for Adam. But baby steps. So then what happens when they have, like, this breakthrough, and it's like, oh, we could be friends. Wow, novel concept. Caleb shows up and is like, hey, Caitlin, could I get those English notes from you? And Caitlin is like, yeah, of course. And Adam is kind of a little testy. Just a little bit testy, but Caleb brushes past that because he's like, I'm here to make friends.
I am on a mission.
So Caleb is like, I really liked your Macbeth presentation, and do you want to have lunch together? And Adam is like, yes. Wait, what? Yes, but what? So then literally they go to have lunch, and Adam internally is just like, what is happening? This doesn't make sense. I don't understand.
He's like, am I being punked? What? So
okay.
They start having lunch together. They start to become actual real-life friends.
Which is good, because that is what Dr. Bright continued wanting Caleb to do. With the side note of work on your anger issues. Caleb is attempting to do that. Meanwhile, he's also bonding with Adam. They're having lunch. They're going through all these things, bonding rituals.
And Adam also has picked up on the fact that when he's angry, Caleb is angry. So what he tries to do is he tries to pretend to be calm. He still feels angry, but he tries to control it for Caleb. And Caleb mentioned this. I don't know if he does mention this in the book, but in the podcast for sure he mentions this to Dr. Bright, and he says that, it's really considerate of him, and it's really cute that he does this. It shows how much Adam is trying to really make this work.
Except at this lunch table, what brings us down from our high of bonding
is that Adam is feeling angry, and he tries to hide that fact.
No, he's feeling bummed out.
Oh, bummed out.
He's feeling super sad because depression, and also because of college applications
and his parents' pressure,
and Adam or Caleb is like, but it's deeper than that. It's the depression, and
Caleb wants him to talk about it, and Adam doesn't, and he's just like, I'm not feeling any type of way, and Caleb's just like, you are, and it's verging on the part of
they're gonna have a fight. They are gonna have a fight, but
it's almost verging on him revealing his power, so Caleb has to reel it back. He has to step back, even though he knows that Adam is feeling this way. He can't say, you are feeling this way, I know this for a fact.
Yeah. So I think...
So it frustrates them both, because in the book, Caleb is frustrated by it.
Yes.
Consistently until the powers are revealed, and Adam is frustrated by it because he knows that Caleb is lying about something.
Yeah. But what stops this argument that they're having, it's like a tiff. This tiff that they're having is that
it's tense, but they're both like, we want to get over this.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is that Caleb says, do you want to come and help me pick out my outfit for the Sadie Hawkins dance? Which Adam doesn't, Adam wants to do it, but Adam is also like, I don't like the fact you're going with someone else, but I also want to help you change your clothes. So Adam says yes.
He's just like, this is fine. Caleb is now having dinner with his parents, and he asks if he can invite Adam over, and the parents are very concerned. They're just like, you can't, tell people about your powers. And first of all, like, Caleb has other friends. He's not just spouting this information out to anybody.
No, he does not have other friends.
No, he has other people that could be friends with him. He has a whole football team that he's a part of.
But they're not really his friends.
I know.
He's just as alone as Adam is.
I know, but the parents don't know anything about this, but they immediately are just like, you can't tell him. And he's just like, I'm not an idiot.
Well, I understand both, because sometimes people say things, okay? So it's better to have a warning in your brain where it's like, I was specifically told not to do this, so you don't do it.
No, that's valid. And during this, while the parents are concerned, they then tell Caleb that there are people out there that he should be concerned about that Dr. Bright has said. And he's just like, well, this is the first I've been told.
Yeah, because they're like, Caleb, not to alarm you, but there are people who kind of hunt down and institutionalize atypicals. And Caleb's like, I am having a horrible time, and I'm already
straight up not having a good time.
Yeah. And I'm 17, so that was
No, I think he's 16. He's 16.
Whatever. He's a baby.
And he's 16, and he's very overwhelmed. And Alice, the 12-year-old sister, is the only functional and rational person there in this conversation. She's just like, chill out. He's gonna be fine. We're all gonna be fine.
Yeah. Respect for Alice.
So Adam comes over to help Caleb dress for the dance, and
the rituals are intricate.
The scene is
it's good because
so repressed and gay, and I love it.
Well, here's the thing, guys.
They're teasing each other.
They're
end up play fighting, physically.
They fight, and then they fall into one another.
And then, Caleb, I think, has to catch Adam for a moment.
And then there's some staring at some lips, y'all. And it gets really hot. It's not hot and heavy, but it could be hot and heavy. But Adam is Adam is throwing out some feelings, and Caleb is I don't know if the feelings I'm feeling are the feelings he's feeling because we're so connected. But they break apart, and there's no kiss. It's just straight to the dance.
Tension.
Yeah, tension and straight to the dance, which is horrible.
It's a disaster because this guy won't leave Caitlin alone, and he's being a real asshole. And Caleb does not swing at him, but it's tense, and they both get kicked out.
Yeah.
So Caitlin leaves with him because she's a champ. She's not going to leave him by himself.
No. And they end up eating out on the football field.
And it's a cute moment.
It is. There's a sweet moment where they're talking, and Caleb is getting some vibes off of Caitlin, and Caleb internally is like, she likes me. She's about to say something, and she's nervous about saying it. She's probably I need to tell her that I really like having her as a friend. And he just he's like, I like having you as a friend, Caitlin. And Caitlin is like, oh, okay, cool.
Yes, and so Caleb, as much as he's I'm not gonna spout my secret to just anybody, is not good at hiding it. He just came out and said it wasn't subtle at all.
He doesn't reveal his powers.
I know, but I mean, he addressed her feelings.
Yes, but what you said was misleading. It makes it sound like he's I can't be with you because I have powers.
No.
It's just that he's not subtle when he's I like having you as a friend, Caitlin. I think you're cool. Let's continue being friends. Okay, cool, bye.
After the dance the next day, Adam and Caleb meet up for coffee and hot chocolate, which is so valid.
Yes.
And they talk about the dance, and Adam can tell that Caleb is lying, and he's upset because he knows it's obvious. He's like, what aren't you telling me? And Caleb's like, there's nothing to tell. And they've come to this standstill because they both know what the other isn't saying.
You remember that thing Anna mentioned where Adam repeatedly gets frustrated because he's like, Caleb, you clearly have a way of knowing what I am feeling emotionally, and you're very keyed in, because I'm pretty sure Caleb tries to give off this thing where it's no, I'm thinking about something later. Anyways, what happens is it all comes to a head when they meet up for coffee and hot chocolate.
And they're just so frustrated. Adam is just so frustrated and done. And Caleb obviously is just I can't tell you. And it comes to a point where they can't resolve it anymore. And they walk away, and Caleb goes to talk to Dr. Bright about it, and Adam and Caleb haven't talked in like 2 days. Caleb, after running away from that, talks to Dr. Bright, and then after not being talked to by Adam, talks to his sister, and she's just like,
Hold on. You're missing something. They have this moment where they break apart, and he does talk to Dr. Bright, and Dr. Bright tries to give him advice. But Caleb is like, I will choose to disregard this. Meanwhile, Adam is having his own moment with Caitlin where...
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, they're having this moment together where Caitlin is like, I wanted to ask Caleb to be like my boyfriend, but he's so crazy perceptive. It's like he knew that's what I was going to ask, and he specified he only liked me as a friend, and it's weird how crazy perceptive Caleb is. And Adam is like, yeah, cool, he does it with me all the time. And they have like this moment where they acknowledge that. Also, Adam feels nice about not, of the fact that Caleb and
Caitlin aren't together. That's very alliterative. Hard to say.
And meanwhile, Caleb decides to take the advice of a 12-year-old.
His sister, who is just like, as a person who feels every feeling, you should talk about your feelings and ask him.
Yeah, just go talk to Adam, Caleb. So then Caleb is like, you're right, Alice, I will go do that. And the next day at school,
he goes to their lunch spot, and Adam is sitting there, and they reconcile.
It's sweet, there's bonding.
During all of this, Caleb realizes that while he was away from Adam, he does want to kiss Adam.
Oh, yeah, he's
just like, this is legit.
I would like to do that. I would like to, because...
I would like to see it.
Yeah, over these 2 days, he has been completely separated from Adam, and he still feels all the feels.
Yeah.
So it's for real.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if we specified that he only feels the feelings of people while he's in the room with them. I think, like, from how we've described it, people can infer, but I don't think we've stated it. But,
I don't know.
So, back to Adam, and Adam is having a depressive episode, and he barely makes it through a brunch with his Aunt Annabelle, who is one of his favorite people in the world, and he still can't bring himself to be happy and feel about that, because that's what depression is. Caleb comes over kind of unannounced.
Well, no. They had planned.
Oh, yeah, they had plans. They
literally were, like, at lunch, they were like, Adam was like, you can come over to my house and we'll play, like, video games or something. Caleb was like, that sounds cool, let's do it. No texting in between. And then Caleb was like, I showed up at the time you told me to come. There's no one here. Mm-hmm. But Adam opens up the door and is like, clearly... And
yeah, he's clearly going through it.
And Caleb can feel all of that.
And Caleb is just like, we can just stay and be together. And they take a depression nap together.
They do. It's like, described as so trippy, too.
Yes.
It's very well written.
Yes, because Caleb, like, he can feel, like, a physical presence of, which is the depression. And it's described really well, like waves, I think. Yeah. Like,
where it's, like, kind of drowning you, yeah.
And... somehow Lauren Shippen makes that cute. But afterwards they get into a tiff because Caleb, even without his empath powers, he'd be able to tell that there was something wrong with Adam, and he's like, Adam, what's going on? And Adam doesn't want to talk about it.
Adam is straight up like, let's not.
And they have an almost gay moment where they almost kiss. And like lips are looking at each other, and
the lips are sentient and they are aware.
No, but Caleb is still not fully confident in the fact that whether or not they're his emotions or Adam's, or if he's feeling Adam's, or if he's only feeling his emotions. So he's like,
I can't be sure.
Does Adam feel this way for me, or am I only feeling this because of Adam? And he is just caught in this endless, vicious cycle where he's unsure.
Mm-hmm. So then...
Adam gives him later,
because it is awkward, but to fix it,
to smooth it over, he's like, here's this magical...
Adam is like, here's a mixtape for you, Caleb.
We say mixtape, I'm pretty sure it was just
a playlist.
It's a USB, I'm pretty sure it's a USB playlist.
That counts as a mixtape, Anna. It's the digital age, get with it.
I mean, I just send you playlists on Spotify.
Anyways, romance is dead.
Okay, we are getting to the good shit, y'all. So Caleb admits to himself that after this beautiful playlist that Adam has given him, he's just like, shit, these are real feelings. I really am real gay for Adam. And he talks to Dr. Bright, his therapist, about it. And he's like, can I please tell Adam my feelings and about my powers? And Dr. Bright is just like, if you're confident in this, go for it. And so he does. Except it's a disaster.
It's a disaster.
So he leaves Dr. Bright and he's super pumped because he's like, I'm finally going to tell him.
Then he doesn't.
Yeah, he just keeps putting it off, and then they're at
Like
Adam's birthday party. And the birthday party is just a birthday dinner with Adam and his parents, and Adam bakes himself a cake.
Yeah, it's super weird, but
it's a little...
good for them. And his parents get a little tipsy, which then makes Caleb feel tipsy.
He feels their drunkenness, and he's just like, shit, I gotta yeet. And he kind of, like, runs away. So, during this, because of Caleb feeling the parents' drunkenness, he kind of reveals a little bit more of his powers to Adam, and he runs away from Adam again.
Recurring theme.
And also, during this dinner, his parents are really into Caleb.
They really like him, but also
like they're a little too interested in him.
Well, hold on, they're not too interested. If you've never listened to the podcast, you probably wouldn't be concerned, but I've listened to the podcast and I was concerned.
Like the next time they're in school,
once again, Caleb saves Adam and then
from almost getting a beat down from Bryce. And
we think. Could be Tyler or another white guy name. But
and after he's saved Adam, he reveals his powers, and Adam has a freak out.
Because it sounds, when he confesses this, he basically is like, I feel everything you feel, and I know how you feel. So what Adam is hearing is like,
you feel that I like you.
I'm gay for you, and you are telling me to back off. So Adam freaks out and leaves, and then Caleb is all hurt. He's like, I was just rejected. So then he has a meeting with Dr. Bright where he's like, it exploded in my face. It went terrible. It went horrible. And then they have a phone call.
Like he's explaining to Dr. Bright, and Dr. Bright is explaining to him. She's like, you need to step back for a second and realize how that sounded to Adam. If Adam likes you and you said this to him, he thinks that you said this to him because you know that he likes you and that you don't like him and you were letting him down easy. So that's why he's freaking out. And so
then they have a moment, yeah.
And immediately he pulls out his phone because she's like, you need to talk to him. And he's like, okay, fine, I'm doing it right now. And he pulls out his phone and he's texting him. And
they have a phone call.
Yeah,
and
but hold on, it's really cute. It's really cute because Caleb takes out his phone, texts him, and he just sits there. And
like,
Dr. Bright's like, are we gonna have a session? He's like, no, we're not gonna. There's nothing to say until he responds back. And so they're texting
like
back
such
and
a
forth.
16-year-old response, by the way.
Yeah, and Dr. Bright is just sitting there like, why don't you just call him? Why don't you talk to him in person? And
they have a phone call.
Yeah, they have a phone call. It all comes out.
And
it's really cute because Adam is just like, what the fuck do you mean that you feel what I feel too? And Adam is just, and Caleb is just like, look, broke my superpowers because I can't tell what's you and what's mine. So Adam is just like, wait, so you are feeling those things for me. It's not just me. And it's good so good. And like immediately after reading the scene, or even though I listened to it on the audiobook,
I listened to the podcast too.
I listened to the podcast episode again because it's just so good, and I love him so much. Because not only that, but it was the first moment that in the podcast that we hear Adam's voice, and it's just so good.
It's so good.
It is honestly so cute. So after this, they meet up and they kiss because teenage love.
Yeah, they get together. Cue montage of them being in love.
A cute couple.
And then Adam is like, let's find more atypicals.
Because Adam, the smart person here, is just like, this is interesting. We should look into other atypicals.
Well, then it's also
we
like
need to be informed.
Another thing is that Adam wants to feel like he brings something to the table.
He does. He feels so inadequate, and you get the inside point of view. And it's
so they have this stakeout, and on this stakeout they encounter two characters.
This stakeout outside of Dr. Bright's office because it's just like, she's a therapist, so all sorts of atypical, they'll be coming and going, let's sit out here.
Yeah, and they encounter two of her other patients who are featured in the podcast, Damien and Chloe, and it is not fun because Damien is a word that
antagonist, we'll say that.
He's an antagonist. But he doesn't really feature in the book, so we're not going to go into him. But he just like puts out bad vibes, and it's not good. And it
makes Adam feel bad because Damien's powers are if he wants you to do something, you do
want
it.
So you want it so much. So literally, Caleb
the empath just feels it building and building and building, and he's just like, I want to do whatever you want to do.
And Adam is
jealous.
like,
excuse me.
I'm sorry, whose boyfriend are you? Whose boyfriend? Get out of here with that
And
noise.
so all of the feelings of inadequacy that Adam feels all the time are just super heightened, and it's not a good moment for them.
But they get over it, they get through it, because it's explained what Damien's powers are and why that would be even more effective and deadlier.
Yeah, so Chloe is the one that thankfully explains all of this to them, because Damien's powers don't work on Chloe.
She's telepathic.
Yes, she's telepathic, and for some reason they just... And afterwards, Adam goes to his dad, and he's just like, so,
What do you know about mind readers and people like, do you think that that's a thing? Do you think that could possibly be a thing? And he's like hinting at all of these things, and his dad is like, what's going on?
he is totally onto him, and he totally suspects Caleb, and it's just like, Adam,
you dumb motherfucker.
So after this, Caleb asks Dr. V
About Damien, and
it comes out, and she tells him about the AM,
which is an organization, the one that Caleb's mom hinted at, where it's like, there are people that will institutionalize atypicals. And Dr. B explains what the AM is, and it's
the
more
AM
than just
are
that.
the atypical monitors, and it's kind of like the secret government organization tracking atypicals, and it's sketchy, to say the least.
It's sketch. Anyways, she explains what that is. Caleb talks to his mom. Then there's more stuff that happens.
He talks about Adam to his mom, and it's really cute. And then Adam and Caleb, it shows their relationship as Adam is battling depression. It shows that while there are bad days, there are also good days, and it's very well done.
Yeah, they're just going through it, and then we get to another plot point, which is when
Caleb meets up with Chloe at her art studio to help move some stuff, and then he meets Frank, who is
a homeless veteran that knows Chloe, and she is working with him. But what they didn't realize is that Frank is an empath. Oh, that's a thing only in the podcast. They don't understand it, but what happens is it's a very trippy...
it's stated also in the book that Frank is an empath, too. He's not an atypical, though. He was experimented
I don't think it's explained in the book.
Bullshit, we're just gonna say it.
Yeah,
it's too...
he is an empath, okay, guys? He's an empath, and it causes just this mindfuck of emotions,
so
but not in a good way.
To empath link makes everything explode.
And it's very trippy, and it's not fun.
Yeah, and it gives them, headaches and stuff, and they have to go away.
And Caleb tells Adam about this, so then Adam, of course, has to question his mom about this, and it's like, ooh, Adam, you letting out too many hints. And
you're giving away all of the state secrets.
But then what happened, I'm pretty sure what happens is while they're having this conversation, Adam is like, he accidentally makes it sound like Caleb is depressed. Suicidal and depressed, and he's like, no, take it back, I take it back, I'm fucking it up, let's just end, revert. Over the next few chapters, we're seeing these characters go through their daily lives, and they realize they're in love. Like, Caleb almost gets in a near fight, and then
Adam is able to stop him and stabilize him, and Caleb is like, oh, this is love.
It's like the sweetest realization of love, too, where he's like, I love Adam. I love Adam. Meanwhile, and then at a football game for Caleb, Caitlin and Chloe are also there with Adam watching Caleb play
and
the
Adam
game.
is there supporting Caleb.
And Chloe is like, oh,
you love Caleb. And Adam is just like,
yeah, but you don't gotta say it for me. Like, damn, I haven't even told the boy. And Chloe is like, don't be worried. It's okay. And it's like, damn, Chloe.
So, because they have come to this realization that they're in love, shit obviously has to hit the fan.
Because things can't be happy, can they, Lauren Shippen?
So Chloe, who is friends with Frank, who was experimented on, learned that the people who experimented on him are Adam's parents. And she tells Caleb this.
And Caleb tells Adam, and then Adam confronts, right? He confronts his parents.
Yeah, hold on. First, while Caleb is telling this to Adam, he's just like, your parents could experiment on me. Thank God they don't know about me. And Adam is just like,
well, I've talked to them about you because I wanted more information. And then Caleb is like, oh my God.
You did what? Caleb is having a huge anxiety attack. Basically, he's having a heart attack. And he leaves. He's like, I need alone time. And Adam internalizes that shit. And he's just like, we're broken up forever.
And Adam's response is to go confront his parents.
And he's just like, do you experiment on people?
Do you or have you ever experimented on people? A or B? Please don't be either.
And they confess to him that...
Well, they're like, what? What are you talking about? How could you possibly know this? And Adam is like, I met a telepathic lady named Chloe.
He outs Chloe. I don't know if he says the word for word, but like
He
He
outs
outs
her.
Chloe and Frank, and they explain that Frank signed up for the experiment. Yes, they experimented on him, but it was like above board. They don't do anything illegal, but he's just
all
like
scientific.
he legitimately has to ask his parents to promise to never institutionalize his boyfriend. Like,
Atypical problems for atypical people.
God. After this, Caleb and Adam are no longer talking because, understandably,
Well,
Caleb is upset.
Caleb is upset.
And Adam
Adam
goes
is-
back to being an emo boy in the library, and Caitlin comes up to him and talks to him and makes him feel a little better. He cries a little bit.
We just go through this really long period where they're not together, though.
The school year ends, and over the summer, they are both so sad about
But
each other.
They don't do anything.
But they
about
don't
it.
reach out to each other. Caleb posts selfies on social media hoping that Adam will post selfies. Adam instant
DMs.
messages, like texts him an inside joke, but Caleb doesn't respond. And it's just so
dumb.
sad.
Yeah, it's dumb miscommunication. Or it's not dumb miscommunication.
But
It's,
cue the required romantic miscommunication.
yeah,
where
like
they-
the we broke up plot line is happening right now. And they don't talk to each other again until
they get to school and
And
they only
literally-
have 2 classes together, and they share AP Latin, and Adam is just like, did Caleb take AP Latin so he could be in class with me? And
The answer
Caleb is
is
just like,
yes.
I totally did that, but I'm not going to tell him about any of my feelings. And because all he can think about is wanting to kiss Adam, and he's just
Yeah.
like, but I can't think about that right now. Except Adam is literally about to get literally beaten because he mouths off to a bully, and Caleb
sick of
protects him, and then immediately afterwards, he just runs away.
and then it's like, fuck, I have to actually deal with this. So then Caleb
Texts Adam.
and they're like, let's have a conversation. And, well, Adam has a conversation with his parents. And
please confirm you're not evil, okay? Okay. Don't experiment on my boyfriend, and we're good.
I'm gonna go get my boy now. And what happens is Caleb and Adam meet up together, and they actually communicate. They talk about their feelings. They basically come out where it's like, we got caught up, and we were trying to be normal.
Yeah,
and we
and
shouldn't
it's-
have been trying to do that. We should have just agreed that we were gonna be weird together. And on
Because they
that,
were so hung up on the roles of, oh, you have to be
the healthy one, or you have to be
the normal one.
Yeah. So those roles were damaging and stifling, and instead they both agreed we're going to talk about our emotions. We're
And we're
going
going to take it step by step and react like normal people with abnormal and atypical problems.
Yeah. And they agree that they're going to be back together, and the book ends with them having this sweet little kiss and actually being in love. And it's like a sweet little monologue where it was just what we said. So that's our recap for The Infinite Noise. I think you guys can kind of tell what we were talking about, how the ending,
Was abrupt.
it was abrupt. It just, a lot of stuff happens, and then it's done, and then we're back together, which is, it was what it was. I really enjoyed the book, though, and I hope you enjoyed our
Yes.
recap.
No, tidbit side story about this book. I listened to this on audiobook, and it made me so happy, and I went for a walk while listening to it, and it was one of the most perfect fall days. It was sunny, but it was chilly enough where I could wear a sweater, and I was just walking down the street literally on cloud 9 on tiptoe. I was just literally spinning around. I was so happy while listening to this audiobook. This is such a good book, and I love
Yeah.
it so much.
Yeah.
I love these characters, and they deserve the world, and I'm
I'm
so glad that Lawrence Shippen got and wrote this book, and I can't wait for more. Legitimately, I'm so excited, and I'm so excited about the new podcast that's going to be about them in their college years.
Yes.
Very interested to see how that evolves.
All good things. Thank you for sticking with us through our recap. I hope it made sense, because it was kind of hard to keep track of the notes.
Because of how
It
the point of views
forth.
cut back and forth. There are like 60 chapters, and
There
they're
are
all
64 chapters.
there's 64 chapters. Some of them are very short, so like all of them kind of get
blurred
Jumped
together.
together.
Information probably got
there was a moment where we said something happened in one chapter, but it happened in a later chapter. It's fine.
We're not going to tell you which one. Go read a book and fact check us.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd actually love that, so feel free.
Thank you for watching Take a Number, and please continue following us along as we continue consuming too many things. Yes, and if you have anything else that you would like to recommend or have us review, that's going to have to take a number. Have a nice day. Thank you so much. I'm Anna.
I'm Sophia.
And goodbye.